Hi, everybody. Hey, kobolds, what's going on? It's me, NJChef, your Cosmic Dragon VTuber. Sorry, I was just checking something that was actually making sure it was set up correctly. And I'm gonna be a PNG today. I'm gonna be a PNG today because this is a stream I've been meaning to get back to for the absolute longest time. A little background. Before I started my whole VTuber journey, I was a face cam streamer for a long while, for a long time. I've been streaming for almost 5 years at this point. And in that time, I started a series of streams where I would paint through and work through my Warhammer 40K miniatures backlog, right? And then I sort of just fell off of doing that. I stopped doing that. I really don't know why, but I did, and I kind of regret that I did. Friends, we're back to it today. We are back to it today, and on that note, hi. Hello, how are you? The great... Listen, the only gray mountain that exists currently in my collection, Warlock, is my orcs. Because they're the only ones that are still gray and still need to be assembled. At the very least, most of my Space Marine stuff is primed. At the very least, most of my Space Marine stuff is primed. Yes, I had to make the Dragon Claws look human today, what can I say? So, this is the big boy that we're going to be painting today. For those of you not that familiar with Warhammer 40K, this is a Space Marines unit by the name of a Storm Speeder, specifically the Storm Speeder Hammer Strike variant. What denotes it being a Hammer Strike is this giant fuck you melt-a-gun up here, and this turret of missiles up here. And these, I believe these are crack grenade turrets on either side? So basically what this, excuse me, what this is going to look like is it's going to be mounted onto this flying stand to give it the illusion that it's skimming just above the ground over the battlefield. Basically what this entire vehicle's purpose on the battlefield is to be a very fast-moving tank hunter. Because all of these weapons that are equipped on the Hammer Strike are geared to one thing and one thing only. Locating enemy tanks and absolutely annihilating them. So this is what we're going to be painting today. I've already assembled it, obviously. And it's already been primed. I've got the, oh god, what? I primed this so long ago. What primer did I use? It was a Games Workshop primer. It is a... oh god. It's a Games Workshop primer. It's called Wraithbone. It's called Wraithbone. And I specifically used Wraithbone as a primer for actually a lot of my miniatures because Games Workshop, a little while ago, specifically Citadel, which is their paint division, introduced probably the best and quickest way to get miniatures painted and tabletop ready. Their contrast line of paints. And I found out very quickly that this specific color of green right here, Contrast Warp Lightning, is perfect. One moment, please. I found out very early on that Contrast Warp Lightning is the perfect green if you paint it over Wraithbone to mimic the Salamanders chapter Space Marines color scheme. Because their main color scheme is green armor with black and bronze highlights. Well, bronze if you're in the first company like this Blade Guard veteran here. So I realized very quickly that Warp Lightning was going to be the perfect contrast paint for the majority of my army. And on that note, that is exactly where we're going to start. If you're wondering what that sound is when I'm shaking the paint, this very specific clacking sound, it's because I did the smart thing and I put a metal ball bearing in all of my paint pots, just so they mix the paint and keep it homogeneous. So what I'm going to do, how we're going to start, is I'm going to need a fairly large base brush here. Because, obviously, instead of painting one miniature, we're going to be well, technically it is one miniature, but I digress. We're going to be painting a vehicle, and this is a very large vehicle. So we're going to need a fairly decent-sized base brush. I'm going to soften up the bristles real fast. Off screen, I do have a big thing of water, just to clean my brushes as we go along. So we're going to start that. And what I'm currently doing, I should probably put this on camera. What I'm currently doing, just to prep my brush, I've dipped it in water, and what I'm doing right now is I'm cleaning it. And this is a cleaning solution. It is literally a brush cleaning solution. But moreover, what this does is it keeps the bristles nice and soft and supple, so you can work with them easier, and actually extends the life of your brushes. So now what I need to do, I'm just using some tissue paper to dry my brush very, very carefully and very, very gently. Because I actually do want the majority of the moisture off of my brush for this particular application. Because the thing about Citadel contrast paints is you really don't need to get them all that wet. Because unlike most of the painting processes that you'll undergo when you're painting your own miniatures like this, contrast paints really only need one solid, even coat. And once they dry, it's going to dry real nice. I'm doing fine, Warlock. I'm doing better than I was last night, let me tell you. Last night was a bit of a mess. Alright, so now that we've got contrast Warp Lightning on my brush loaded up, you just need to pick a starting point. I'm just going to pick this wing down here. And all you need to do is just run the contrast paint down like that. And as you can see, it covers really nicely. It actually covers quite nicely. And so now, we're just going to take that and continue that technique all over this miniature. All over this miniature. That's all we got to do. Iyashi, what's going on, buddy? I'm cooking in a sense, yes. I am cooking in a sense, absolutely. Now the neat thing about the contrast method for that Games Workshop and their Citadel Paints division have thought up and formulated over these past few years. The cool thing about this method is that it basically starts combining shading and paint into one system, into one medium. One medium? One medium, yeah, one medium. Now that doesn't mean you should ignore like shading and highlighting and detailing. By no means, no. But it is a really good way to start, because it'll start bringing out all of those details, and it'll actually it'll show you what details should be highlighted, what details should be shaded, what recesses should be shaded. Now, it's going to look a little messy as we start up, but that's by design. That's by design. And I'll tell you why that's by design. It's because I'm not going to try and flood... Oh, God. I'm not going to try and flood this entire miniature with paint. I'm picking out certain areas that I want to be green because I know I'll be covering other areas of this vehicle with a completely different color as we go along. So at this point, I'm not too worried. I'm not too terribly worried about keeping things neat. Rather, I just need to block in everything that I want green with this green color. And then we'll go in and neaten everything up as we go along. My God, I really am starting to sound like Duncan Rhodes here. Duncan, for those of you who are not as into the Warhammer 40K fandom as I am, Duncan Rhodes was one of Citadel, which is the main company that has the Warhammer 40K IP. Duncan was one of their best painters, and he did a lot of really nice tutorials on their website on how to get miniature painting done. And the joke, well, what became a joke that still follows him to this day, is the fact that you instead of just splodging on one thick coat of paint, you need to thin your paint down and apply 2 thin coats. And that just became a meme that has followed him to this day. He no longer works for Citadel, he no longer works for Games Workshop, but he still does do painting tutorials on his own website and on his own YouTube channel, the Duncan Rhodes Painting Academy. And I've been watching a lot of his video tutorials lately, just to get myself back in the correct mindset to paint. And I'm starting to pick up, and as a result, I'm starting to pick up a lot of his mannerisms when he speaks. So the trick here is that since contrast paint combines elements of a shade as well as a base paint or a layering paint, here's the thing, you can actually get away with one coat of it. Like this all right here is just one coat, which is brilliant. And I love how it's drying, and I love how it covers. The trick is you still need to do stuff like shading, highlighting, detailing. You can't just throw contrast paint on something and call it a day. There's still other steps that you need to go through. But me personally, if you were to ask me personally, I am a big advocate of the contrast paint medium because it offers a really good starting base for you to learn the basics. So like I said, it's going to look a little messy for now, but that's only because we're starting out. We're going to neaten everything up as soon as we go along. I just need to block out the main body of the vehicle. And since 90% of it is green, we're going to be looking at a lot of green for a long time. By the way, I'm trying out something new with this setup, because this setup is actually a little bit different to when I used to do a lot more painting streams. Let me know, like, if the music's too loud or my mic is too quiet, etc., etc., because my mic is actually positioned a little bit further away from me than usual. And yeah, since Iashi pointed it out earlier, I love all of these lo-fi remixes of Hololive songs. I've literally just got a whole bunch of them saved up, and that's what you're going to be hearing as music today, because I love it. anything lo-fi is really, really, is just A+ in my book. Anything lo-fi, I love. And when they started putting out lo-fi remixes of some of their most popular songs, oh man. I was all for it. Because they all sound so good. All of the remixes sound so nice. Sounds good? Awesome. Fantastic. Good to know. Good to hear. Now the thing about big, blocky, chunky vehicles like this, the thing you need to keep in mind is that there's a lot of crevices that you need to keep an eye out for. There's a lot of other details that you need to keep an eye out for. Like this control fin down here, I need to make that green as well as this little underbelly back here. All of this stuff, all of what are essentially the hover pads, I'm not going to paint green because they're going to be gunmetal later on. I realize that's going to be a lot of gunmetal, but it's fine because when you look at when you're going to be looking at the vehicle on the tabletop, you're really not going to see the bottom of it, so that'll be all right. The only parts of the vehicle's underside I need to make green is this area back here, which connects to the main hull, the control fin, and this spar right in the middle. Because those are all parts of the hull. And I suppose this area under here as well. Like this area down here, and then this area over here. And then once those are green, I can finally flip over to get the rest of the top side of the vehicle hull down. And it's great too because like while the paint is drying over here, I'll still have an area to hold on to the vehicle and not like get paint on my fingers because these grav plates are still gonna be unpainted. So it's just, that's something you need to keep an eye on. That's something you need to think about as you're painting. Specifically vehicles. Specifically vehicles. With painting individual miniatures, it's a whole other beast. It is a whole other beast. Hope y'all are having a good day so far, by the way. Hope y'all are having a good start to the weekend. Hope it's nice and chill and relaxing for y'all. I have to get in here as well, and I just realized. Because there's parts of the hull that actually do wrap around in this direction. Get into that area as well, in between the struts and the grav plates and the grav plating. There we go. There we go. All right. Now, I'll be entirely honest. I'll be entirely honest with you, chat. I could have done this the easy way, and I could have just used a green spray paint to do the first base coat on this vehicle. However, it is 19 degrees right now. I woke up this morning, it was 2 degrees, and it felt like negative 16. The paint would have frozen before it hit the model. It's cold today, chat. It's really, really bloody cold today. Good God. So now we're getting down onto the main hull of the vehicle itself, of the Stormspeeder Hammerstrike itself. However, because there are three Space Marines in here, we're going to have to paint them as well. We are going to have to paint them as well. Well, at the very least, we're going to have to paint what is visible of them. Because they're not full-body miniatures. They are literally just torsos. And a little bit of their arms and their heads as well. But I do like that detail. Like, if it's an open cockpit, you're gonna see the crew. A lot of painters, a lot of more skilled painters than myself, by the way. The Mad Lads would actually paint this entire thing in sections. Like, they'd paint the vehicle first, they'd paint the turret, and then they'd paint the Space Marines inside, and then do final assembly. And I'm just like, what the fuck? I neither have the patience nor the skill to do something like that. But more power to them, because holy shit. I have neither the patience nor the skill to pull something like that off. Let's start with you. Okay, this new setup is actually way better than my old one. Holy cow. So I've got everything on like a, sort of like a gimbal arm now. And it's not like balancing off the mic arm, where it's literally hanging off my mic arm, like the same mic that I'm using to speak. This setup is way safer now. This setup is way, way safer. Jesus. Oh no, Warlock, I understand that. I understand that entirely. I'm just admitting to the world that I neither have the patience nor the skill to pull off something that complex. In my mind, that complex. Because that requires a lot of skill. It also requires a setup I definitely do not have. AKA not having a camera in front of me and having a better setup than just putting this on my computer desk and moving my keyboard, which is exactly what I've just done. You can't see it, but literally just off frame, if I were to tilt the camera up a little bit more, you'd be able to see my keyboard. Because that is all I have room for at the moment. Okay. The good news is all the parts back here have now dried, which means I can now just tilt the model like this and start picking off everything on the main hull, like the rest of the things on the main hull. And again, it's gonna look a little sloppy right now, but that's okay, because we still have more details to block in as we go along. So it's gonna look a little sloppy for now, but we'll be cleaning that up as we continue to block in other colors and other details. I'm purposefully not painting the inside mechanism of that grenade launcher turret just yet, because that's going to be in a different color altogether. That's just something you need to think about in situations like these. Because I could just splatter this entire thing green and go from there, but it kind of defeats the purpose. Like, I'll get to those other details eventually, so why bother? That's how I approach it, anyway. There's a lot of different ways you can approach miniature painting. I've just, after the many years I've been doing this, after the many years I've been in this hobby, this is just the pattern I've sort of laid out for myself when it comes to painting. My vehicles, my infantry, my characters, etc., etc. Because Warhammer 40K as a system, as a game system, is in 9th edition, with rumors, by the way, with rumors of 10th edition dropping, possibly sometime later this year. They have neither confirmed nor denied that, but that is the current hot rumor mill at the moment. I have been playing since 5th edition Warhammer 40K. So I've been in this hobby a long time. And even then, I know people who've been in it longer than I have. I know a couple of friends of mine who've been at this since 3rd edition. I'm old, chat, I get it. I am old. Get this entire area up here, and that entire gravatic plate section down there is just going to be gunmetal later on. However, what I do need to do, yeah, there we go, is the inside of these air scoops, because there's a tiny bit of the cowling that you can see before the air intake, so that needs to be green as well. A little bit more detailing up here, and right, the turret, the missile turret and its operator. Okay. Not old, DILF. You know what? I'll take that, okay? I'll take that. I will take that. I will take that gladly. I will wear that badge proudly. Also, today I learned AutoMod will censor DILF for some reason, under the premise of bullying, of all things. What? AutoMod, are you okay? I don't understand. I don't understand why AutoMod will censor some things with that specific premise. I do not get it. I do not get it. That's just so strange. Alright. That is our first of many base coats. It censored MILF too! Hello? It censored MILF too! What the heck? Alright, time to wash off my brush. Time to give it a thorough cleaning. I don't understand AutoMod. I really don't. AutoMod wants to keep daddies and mommies to itself. I get it. Fair. Fair. Also, Warlock, they're acronyms. They're acronyms. MILF and DILF are acronyms. Just think about it for a second. There you go. You get it. You got it now. Nice. Alright. So that's our first set of base coat down. Now, are you ready for step 2? Yes, you are. Good. Oh, perfect. Alright. So now, give me a moment. Give me a moment. There we are. Alright. Now I get to break out one of my favorite little pieces of equipment. We'll come back to this base momentarily, so I'm just going to put this out to the side for now. But we now get to work with one of my favorite pieces of equipment when it comes to painting. Because now we're getting into paints that are no longer contrast paints, so we're going to have to follow a few rules. Step 1, and the biggest rule that I always follow, is to use a wet palette. Because this thing is what keeps your paint pliable and lets you work with it way longer. There's a lot of gunmetal detailing on here. So appropriately enough, what we're going to start with, as I shake up the bottle, what we're going to start with is Army Painter's appropriately named gunmetal. Different company, different miniature paints company, so different way of storing their paint. And now, honestly, I prefer these dropper bottles. I prefer the dropper bottles. So now, okay. I'll move my tissue paper over here. I'm gonna need it. Okay. Just a tiny touch of water. Because the thing you gotta remember is you gotta thin your paints down so you don't clog up the details of whatever it is you're painting. Okay? So now, we just pick a point. I'm going to start over here. And we just start layering it on. Like that. I've switched off the large basing brush for a very specific reason, because I don't want to accidentally splatter gunmetal on anything green we've already base coated. Although, as I say that, I think it might actually be a little bit easier. Give me a second. Hold on. I need to test something. I might have been a little overzealous with using just the layer brush. I think I could still get away with a basing brush. I just need to be careful about it. Is this the lo-fi remix of Halloween Night? Yes, it is. Nice. Appropriate, considering Halloween Night was the song that played in the trailer for the next HoloCure patch, which, by the way, I'm really excited for. Oh my god. Chef, are you going to be streaming HoloCure patch once it goes live? Absolutely I am. You kidding me? Oh my god. Absolutely I am. Let's go. Which new girl are you going to be playing with first? Honestly? Probably Aki. Probably Aki. Because I want to see how... Because the attack pattern of her... of basically her floating hair braids looks really interesting. I kind of want to see how that runs. I kind of want to see how that feels in game. Alright, that's one grav plate down. Time to do the rest. Alright, so there we go. These, however, this central ridge, I'm going to have to go back to the smaller basing brush. But for these larger gravatic plates, and definitely for this block here, I can stick with just the with just this basing brush, which is good, which is great actually. You got to learn how to adapt on the fly when you're painting large models like these. Also, this is my first time using Army Painter's dedicated wet palette, and Jesus Christ, this is way better than the janky setup I was using earlier. On previous streams, holy cow. Also, I really like Army Painter because their gunmetal, and honestly all of their metallic paints, cover really, really well. They cover really, really well, which is great. spin this around because we got all this chunk of gravatic plates to cover next. What you want to do is you want to use your palette. You can't even see it because you're staring at the back of my hand. LOL! What you want to do is you want to use your palette to test how the paint flows off your brush. Because however it flows off your brush onto the wet palette is exactly how it's going to flow off your brush onto whatever it is you're painting. You want it to be smooth and consistent. But yeah, I think I'd like to try Aki first, just to see. Because a lot of what was shown off in that trailer has me really, really interested, and also all the updates that Kay has been posting, and on the Holocure Twitter. Which, by the way, that interaction between the Holocure Twitter and Kayla, holy shit, that was funny. Kayla really wants this update to drop, like, now. She's more excited about it than I am. I would not be surprised if Kayla, like, the day that update goes live, she's gonna just fire up Holocure and just stream the game for, like, hours. She's got the endurance to do it. Give Kayla the update early. She's so fucking gung-ho about it. Oh my god, I love it. She's so gung-ho and excited. Literally begging the dev team to give her the update, or to give her access to the update early, just so she can play. But in all honesty, I should probably start farming coins too. I should probably start farming coins myself because goddamn, I haven't touched Holocure in a bit, and I can already tell you right now, chat, I'm not gonna have enough coins come launch day. So I need to get grinding. So between Holocure and Monster Hunter, I absolutely need to get grinding on stuff. Watch her buy everything and Oshi everyone by the time the update is live. She'll do it, too. She will absolutely do it. Holy moly. Knowing Kayla, she'll absolutely do it. TBH, you probably won't need to grind that hard since achievements will be a thing now and they will grant coins. You're right. Because they've updated / added a whole bunch of new stuff. terms of Monster Hunter grinding, I just need more material. Because you always need more material in Monster Hunter. It's like literally the premise of the game. When don't you need more mats? Exactly, Ayashi, exactly. For me, doubly so, since I main light bowgun. I need material to craft not just the bowgun, but the ammo as well. I mean, to be fair, most ammo I can buy at the shop. But some of the more specialty ammo, like the piercing elemental ammo, I'm gonna need to craft that myself. I would choose one of the most expensive weapons to main on stream. I can get... Oh, yeah, no, I can. Because this is an entirely separate area from the hull, so I can get away with making that entire zone underneath this sensor array. Gunmetal. Good. All right. So now it's just this big old plating over here, this roll bar here, the air scoops, and this entire engine block back here. All right. Neat, neat, neat. Let me just refresh my brush for a moment. You know how to feel. Sometimes what you're going to need to do is stop, clean your brush, and then pick up paint again, but that's only because sometimes if you're painting really big miniatures like vehicles, you'll start to feel the bristles in your brush start to gum up with paint a little bit. So it's, in my personal experience, I've always just used that opportunity to stop, refresh what brush you're using, you know, wash it off, get some more paint on, load up the more paint again, start from fresh. It helps. In my opinion, it helps. Might also have to refresh this wet palette too. Because the one thing about metallic paints is because of the way they're composed, because of the way their pigment is with the metallics in it and all that jazz. What you'll sometimes have to do is, especially if you're using a wet palette, you need to change the top cover of your wet palette, because the metallic pigments sometimes will work their way into the parchment or whatever painting surface you're using for your wet palette. If they work their way in too far, they might start working, you know, they might start becoming absorbed by the sponge itself. So, like, that's just something you need to keep an eye on. And it's something I might have to do as soon as I'm done with all the metallics, the majority of the metallics on here. I'm glad Games Workshop got better with their plastic molding. Because it used to be with the finer detailed miniatures, they wouldn't be molded in plastic. They'd be molded in resin. But if you're a really old school Warhammer 40K fan like I am, you'll remember the days where they weren't molded in resin, they weren't molded in plastic, they were molded in pewter. Like solid metal miniatures. Like really, you put them down on the battlefield, you could hear a chunk. Like if you put them down on the battlefield, you just hear the thud of them hitting the battlefield. I have a few of those old miniatures, those metal miniatures as well. They're worth quite a bit to collectors now, since they're entirely out of print. And as cool as they are, I am so glad Games Workshop moved away from metal miniatures now. Jesus Christ. Definitely harder to paint pewter? Oh my god, absolutely. You are totally correct, Warlock. It's nice to have pewter miniatures as like a collector's piece. But like, oh my god, they are a pain in the rear end. Not just to paint, but to put together too, by the way. Cause you gotta, that's when you gotta start learning how to pin miniatures down. Not just glue them together. But like drill a hole, insert like a piece of wiring, like a paper clip onto both ends, glue them together, and then wait for that to set. Because that's the only way you're gonna keep the damn thing together. I have had to do that on many miniatures before. Jesus Christ. Alright. Before we move on to the rest of the metallics on this vehicle, I'm going to take a very quick break and do exactly what I said I was going to do and refresh the parchment on my wet palette, and also get myself something to drink because I'm very thirsty at the moment. BRB, y'all. I'm back, y'all. I'm back. No drinking the paint. You... Oh man, I have almost done that before. I have almost done that before. It's not pretty. It's not pretty at all. Trust me, I have almost done that before. It sucks. Because I basically have two glasses here. I have two glasses of water on my desk at the moment. One of which I'm drinking, because obviously stay hydrated. But also the other one I'm using to clean my paintbrushes. And you'd think that since one is clear and the other one is filled with like paint and cleaner and whatnot, you think people would make the distinction on which one to drink and which one to not drink. Oh no. People have made that mistake far more than you would realize. People have made that mistake way more than you would think. And it goes down just as bad as you would think, too. Alright. So a bunch of our metallics has started to dry already, which is fantastic. So now I need to bring back the small layer brush. For some of the smaller details, obviously. Like the roll bars around the main cockpit. Also, you see that refreshing the wet palette is actually really, really handy here. Because now the paint's going on nice and smooth. Now I'm leaving certain portions of that roll bar not gunmetal, because that's going to be black later on, because that's... I was looking over the model. I was looking over this model earlier, and I realized the main three colors, besides detailing colors that I would be needing for this model today, were going to be green, black, and gunmetal. And once I've blocked those three colors in, that's a good majority of the vehicle actually painted. Which is kind of why I'm glad that the salamanders have such a simple color scheme of black, gold, and bronze just as their base colors. But they make up for that simplicity with, like, some really nice flame designs, like fire iconography, because of their chapter planet being Nocturne, being so volcanically active. We need more of these lo-fi remixes of popular Hololive songs. I'm just glad this is on the official account too, which is beautiful. I'm just saying Cover needs to do more of them. The roll bars. Big gun up here. The main gun of this vehicle. Is it Melta Cannon? Yeah, it's basically a triple shot multi-melta, which is hilariously powerful. They released another remix album recently. They did. You're right. I have to check that out. Oh yeah, I want to thank everybody, by the way, because the YouTube page has been blowing up lately. I don't know what happened, I don't know what algorithm locked onto me, but the YouTube page has been blowing up as a result, and I just want to thank everybody for making that happen, because my god. I checked like a little while before stream started. I bafflingly am close to 200 subs already, and like, what? What? Like, I barely hit 100 before Christmas, before New Year's. It is February, and I'm almost at 200 already. Like, what? Yo, Brain Buster, what's going on, buddy? How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Can get that woo. Can get that sensor array done next. Yo, Brainbuster, thank you for the 2 months. 2 months at tier 1. I'm sorry, it's at 201 now? What? Hold on. What? 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 Hold on. I gotta... Wait, what? $204. Excuse me? What? What the hell? Holy moly. I am baffled. I am utterly baffled. Good God. Chat, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you. I never thought I'd hit that quickly. I made a quiet goal to myself to be... I gave myself a quiet goal. Also, what's up, Megatron 1993? How you doing? I made a goal. I made a quiet goal for myself. To try and hit 200 before the end of the year. And we've already done it, and it's in February. What the fuck? What the fuck? I don't even know how we proceed from there. My goodness gracious. I am shocked. I am shocked. That's the best way I can put it. Shocked in a good way, though, mind you. Oh God, there we go. Shocked Pikachu face. Kind of like the face I have right now on my PNG. Actually. Okay, you know what? That covered really well. Yeah, there we go. Thank you, Army Painter, for making such good metallic paint. Oh, hold on. There we go. I broke down and bought the Cadia stands set a few weeks ago, so hopefully I can start posting pics in Snark Discord soon. Awesome, Brainbuster. Hell yeah. Very nice, very nice. Brainbuster, are you on my Discord as well? If not, hit up the link tree. Because I've got a I also have a tabletop section on my Discord as well, so yeah, feel free to hop on and share your progress on both Discords for sure. All right, there we go. I should work on the turret next, but I'm gonna go back here and work on this whole engine display back here as well as the exhaust ports for the main missile turret. Just because there's a lot to cover back here, literally. So I think I'm gonna start. Yeah, I'm gonna start up here actually. I'll start up here. Let's get this. I did my commissar. I wanted to keep going, so Games Workshop now has my money. Nice. Nice. Yeah, I mean the guard, they just got a whole new bunch of stuff. They got new codex, new miniatures. So you picked a good spot to jump on board, Brainbuster. You actually picked a really good time to jump on board the IG bandwagon. And actually, Brainbuster, did you see because Games Workshop just revealed what event miniatures, what the new event miniatures are if you attend a Games Workshop event, like a sanctioned Games Workshop event. One of them is actually a really neat looking commissar, believe it or not. Let me see if I can find that link, actually. Let me see if I can find that picture. Because it's a really neat picture. You saw it? Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, no, it's really nice looking. I really dig it. I really, really like it. Cool. All right. I think for the bigger engines back here, like for the main engine, I'm going to swap over to the... I'm going to swap back, rather, to the base brush. Because there's way more ground I need to cover. But for now, since we're concentrating on the main turret, I can stick with the smaller brush for now, since I'm going to have to reach in here to get a lot more detailing. Yeah, like back here, and this whole sensor / targeting array up here. There we go. Now you can see it. Now you can see it. Yeah, Warlock inherited a full-on Tau army from a friend of ours, like a mutual friend of ours, who had dabbled in Tau for a little bit. He actually dabbled in a few armies for quite some time. Fun fact, it was that friend who also pulled me into the hobby in the first place. So I have him to thank for this long-standing addiction. It's a plastic crack, as it were. Oops. I forgot you got his I forgot you inherited the Dark Eldar army as well. Warlock. Yeah. I remember that now. I faced that Dark Eldar army before. It's tough. It's quite tough. As a matter of fact, I believe Dark Eldar are still one of the tougher armies in this current edition. Mostly because of shenanigans. The Dark Eldar have quite a bit of rules in their codex that give them some ridiculous buffs to shooting, debuffs to enemy shooting at some of their units. And a lot of their units just hit really, really hard. Oh, same. As a matter of fact, one of the things I was doing before the pandemic went full lockdown mode, at a local hobby shop, we were doing what is known as an escalation league for Warhammer 40K. So round 1, you would start off with an army that was just 500 points. Then, the next week, we would go into we'd come back to the store with an army that was 750 points. And then the next round was going to be 1,000. And then the finals were going to be, I think it was 1,250, either 1,250 or 1,500. One of the two. We got up to the 750 point round. And then that's when reports of COVID-19 started popping up in the state. So we decided to put the tournament on hold for a bit. And it's a good thing we did, because literally the very next week is when my state decided to go on full lockdown. Wait, why am I using the layer brush? I said I was going to use the basing brush for this. Oh, for sure. Warlock, absolutely. You can arrange a game or two. Why not? Which works out doubly well, because I know Christy wants to start learning stuff like Kill Team. Which, hey, even better. Which is even better, honestly. So, like, the more the merrier. just had to check on a couple of things. Don't mind me. All right. We good? Cool, cool, cool. Neat. All right. I need to look into that too, since I don't know when I can play with a full army yet. Kill Team, even though it has different rules to than base 40k, is a decent way to start. But like, in my experience, the best way to learn the core rules of Warhammer, like actual Warhammer 40k, if you've got enough, if you have enough points to make and field at the very least a 500 point army, that's a good way to start. 500 point level games are the best level teaching games to for new players, in my opinion. Because they're just big enough to where you get to field a decent-sized army, but they're not so big to be intimidating, if you catch my drift. They're just the right points level to familiarize yourself with the core rules of the game and also the rules of your own army. At least, that's how it's been in my opinion. So Warlock, Brainbuster, if you've got enough to field 500 points, you're ready to start. You're ready to start. You're ready to start learning. I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to repaint these cowlings around the main engine. I'm going to make them gunmetal as well. Just to break up the sea of green back here. Because I want to keep the chapter colors, obviously, but I also don't want it to just be a block of green. So it's nice to show some variation, breaking up the colors a little bit, using different colors where appropriate. God, I'm so glad I finally got that cycling MooBot command working. So I don't have to keep plugging the link tree myself. Definitely gonna need more experience making lists and playing. Hey, you know how to get a hold of me. I think with the set I got, it's enough to get 500, but I definitely want to get more tanks and artillery to round it out, or both. Tanks and artillery are the backbone of many Imperial Guard lists, yes. You are absolutely correct in that observation, Brainbuster. As a matter of fact, I believe the new Guard Codex actually gives you the opportunity to just field an entire armored column. Like bare minimum infantry, or yeah, just bare minimum infantry, or at the very least enough infantry to fill a couple of APCs. Which is why I like the Guard. I like the Guard for that kind of flexibility. I said it before, like I said it during my Imperial Guard Warhammer 40K lore deep dive episode. Like, if I wasn't so invested in Space Marines already, I think I'd be playing Imperial Guard by now. Like, no shot. Again, it's going to be a little bit messy back here because of the overlapping of some details, but that door hatch there I'm going to paint black, so it's going to be fine. Okay, so now I'm can flip this around because there's more detailing I need to deal with under here, and specifically these vents over here as well. Because way back in the day, technically before 5th edition even started, is when I started reading a lot more 40K lore and talking to my friend about 40K stuff. And he mentioned just how good the Imperial Guard were when it came to, like, infantry. Because there's two flavors of it. There's two ways, really, you can play Imperial Guard. You can either go infantry heavy and just overwhelm your opponent with just sheer numbers of troops and units, or you could just go full mechanized guard. Like, take the bare minimum number of troops, take the bare minimum number of infantry, throw them in a chimera, and then have the rest of your army be either tanks, artillery, or both. Guard can be very viable with either build, at least from what I've seen personally, from what I've faced personally. Because you can do stuff like make your army commander, you can make him a tank commander. You could put him in a tank, and then you could just give him his tank crew orders, like special orders and specialized orders. And then you can just have him throw out orders to the rest of your troops, and it's wild. It's wild. I've seen so many different iterations of Imperial Guard. I faced both of the main iterations of Guard. As a Space Marines player, it is definitely, specifically for Salamanders, it's definitely easier for Salamanders to get around and deal with Infantry Guard, because a lot of the Salamanders' main weaponry, bolt guns and flamers, absolutely destroy Infantry Guard. Even back in the day, even in 5th edition, because, like, the main tactic for Infantry Guard in 5th edition when I started playing was to just camp them in cover, give them a better save, which would save them from most weaponry back in the day, right? But since Salamanders specialized in flame weapons, one of the main benefits of flame weaponry was that it would ignore cover. So it's just like it literally hard countered the one thing keeping most Infantry Guard builds alive. Like, Space Marines do have ways of dealing with obviously infantry, but vehicles and monstrous creatures, las cannons, melt-a-guns, grav cannons, stuff like that. But there is that all requires the shot to hit. And there's one, I don't know if it's in the new codex, but it was in the Guard codex the last time I faced Imperial Guard. There was an order you can give your tank commander and your tank ace called oh god, what was it? I forget the name of the order. But basically, you could order your tank crew to fire their main weapon, and then instead of firing any of their secondary weapons, immediately pop smoke on the tank instead, which is something you're not allowed to do in the shooting phase normally. But Imperial Guard orders, they have ways of circumventing the normal phase pacing in 40K. So they would fire off their main gun, immediately pop smoke, which make them immediately more difficult to hit. Which immediately gives Guard way more survivability. On a unit that's already durable as hell, since it's an Imperial Guard tank, which is based off of the Lehman Russ chassis. God, I'm so glad. I'm so glad I decided to bring this back. This is fantastic. This is a type of stream I'd always meant to bring back to the channel. I just never got around to it until now. I'm glad I did. Okay, what else do I need? Need/want to make gunmetal. The firing ports on the grenade launcher and the missile launcher, I think I'll make them black. Just to give the illusion of shadows and depth in there. But what I can start doing, however, is this, oh god, this sensor array over here I can make gunmetal. Ah, and I still need to do the front air scoops as well. Alright. So we're not quite done with gunmetal just yet. We're not quite done with gunmetal just yet. That looks so good. Thank you, Brainbuster. It's, I haven't picked up a brush to paint miniatures in a long time. And honestly, this is all muscle memory. At this point, this is all muscle memory. This is such a good remix. Hold on. Holy shit, this is such a good remix. Oh my god. Such a good remix of Iris's debut song. My lord. There we go. That's good. That's actually a really nice effect. Once I start running a wash down in there, it's gonna look real good. It's actually gonna look really, really nice once I start running a wash down in those crevices. I haven't painted in like 15 plus years and I'm back to using thinning techniques and stuff. It really is muscle memory at this point. It really is like muscle memory at this point. Like, oh my god. I was so worried, like, when I put this on the schedule, in the back of my head, I'm just like, I'm gonna be screwing everything up. I haven't painted a miniature in a long-ass time. I haven't painted a miniature in so long. Just literally muscle memory kicking in. Ah, the computer consoles, the control consoles on the inside. Yeah, I gotta paint those too. I gotta at least layer them silver. So I will do that as soon as I get this little augury scanner down here. There we go. Good? Yeah. Paint the inside like that. Alright, cool. Now, that gives us some leeway to go back up here. I will never not sing the praises of Duncan Rhodes and the Duncan Rhodes Painting Academy on YouTube, because his painting tutorials are some of the best if you want to learn new techniques or relearn old ones, or relearn a different way to do certain other techniques. He's really, really good. And just his style of painting tutorial is just fantastic. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can. I need to grab a link to his channel for y'all. Because I know there's a few fellow Warhammer 40K fans up in here. So, give me a moment. And now you know where my keyboard is in relation to everything else. Here we go. Got it. Found it, chat. Found it. So yeah. If you would like to learn how to paint miniatures or relearn older techniques or learn new techniques, highly recommend, highly, highly, highly recommend giving the Duncan Rhodes Painting Academy YouTube channel a watch. Because there's some really fantastic stuff on there. Duncan himself is a fantastic teacher. Brainbuster, specifically for you, by the way. Duncan Rhodes recently uploaded a video a little while ago on how to paint a Baneblade, specifically in the colors of the Death Core of Krieg. So if you need any sort of inspiration, that's a good place to start, honestly. Tabletop Time? I've not heard of Tabletop Time, actually. Oh, the Mordian Iron Guard. Very nice. Good choice, honestly. Good choice. That's the plan, anyway. I get you, I get you. And I just need one more dollop of gunmetal on here. And then we can continue. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Alright, that's exactly the consistency I was looking for. I do like the Mordian Iron Guard's color scheme, I'm not gonna lie. Now I'm not gonna be sweating the details in this cockpit all that much. So I just really want a coat of gunmetal just to make it look, you know, just to pick out the block of computer panels and sensor panels over here. But what I will do later on the biggest parts, like the screens, I will be painting them a different color to make them stand out, at the very least. What else? Oh, I can make the back. I can make all of that black back there. Okay. So now all I need to do is just these two little bits down here. And we can actually move on to our next major color, which is black. I need to talk about something, actually. I have seen a disappointing number of creators out there. Not just on Twitch, but on YouTube as well. I have seen a disappointing number of creators out there. Like, desperately try and bend over backwards and explain that, and explain for a million different, highly illogical reasons, mind you, them justifying playing and making content with a new Harry Potter game. And I'm so disappointed. I'm not even mad anymore. I'm just disappointed. Like, I will say, the one thing I understand, and this doesn't even go with, like, just in general, I get trying to separate art from artist. I understand that, okay? I understand that. That is also exactly where I will draw the line, because, like, you cannot do that in this case. You absolutely cannot do that in this case. Not when J.K. Rowling is out there screaming to the heavens about how she hates trans people. And how she thinks they're, like, sick in the head or they're sexual predators and whatnot. No, absolutely not. A, fuck off with that. B, you cannot justify that no matter how many times you try to backpedal yourself. There is no way, there is absolutely no feasible way you can separate J.K. Rowling from this piece of media. It is impossible. And I say this as somebody who really enjoyed Harry Potter back in the day. Like, I made myself a Pottermore account and everything, okay? Do not play this game. Do not buy it. Do not even buy it for the sake of just, like, oh, I want to see how bad it is. No, you're giving them exposure no matter what. Okay? I think the weakest argument I've seen, and quite frankly, this is not only the weakest argument I've seen regarding this game, but, like, the most naive argument I've seen regarding this game. And it's the people who are like, oh, I'm gonna buy the game because I want to support the game developers and not J.K. Rowling. Or I bought the game, but I ended up giving a trans-centric charity more money than I spent for the game. That's not how this works. That's not how this works at all. Literally, by purchasing the game and giving it any sort of exposure, you're giving J.K. Rowling exactly what she wants. Because she views, and she's said this multiple times, she views any support of Harry Potter as support for her views. Which, like, no. No, fuck you. Fuck you, lady. Absolutely not. If it wasn't clear already, I'm not buying this game at all. I'm not playing this game at all. She's not getting any more of my money because fuck her. You can't buy bigot carbon credits. Exactly. Yes, exactly, Rich. Thank you. 100%. Yes. Like, that is not how this works at all. You can't try to sugarcoat something when the creator of that thing is actively, trying to take human rights away from people who just want to live their fucking lives. You know? Like, come on. How blind and or ignorant can you be? Oh, I just realized that was entirely off camera what I did there. Sorry. I won't go so far as to say that she needs to be living to still living to separate her from the art, but she needs to A, shut the fuck up about it, and B, actively work towards being a better person. Exactly. Yes. That too. Agreed 100%. Sadly, I don't see her doing that anytime soon. Which is the worst part. This is Kanata's song. It took me a while to realize what remix this was. This is Kanata's song. She's been doing this for years with zero effort to change her mind about it, which is garbage behavior, honestly. Because like I said, I really used to be like heavily into Harry Potter. Now, in good conscience, I cannot be. Because I refuse to support something made by somebody who is entirely prejudiced and bigoted. Absolutely not. Here's where I can start breaking up the sea of green a little bit more again. Because there's this whole area, there's this block around the main cannon. And there's this raised area just in front of it here. So we can definitely use that. Oh god! I had to grab... Huh? Oh yeah, no worries, Brainbuster. I hate to drop out, but my internet is being garbage and Twitch is basically not working for me. No, I understand, dude. Don't worry about it. Chat, give me a moment. I'll be right back. I feel it. I don't know, but I literally, I think someone's knocking at my front door, which is weird because I definitely not expecting a delivery today. Give me a second. Art police, open up. Pop back in case things get better. Yeah, no worries, Brainbuster. I totally get you, dude. Don't worry, I understand. No, it was so it turns out, first of all, Jesus Christ, it's cold out there. Oh, Christ almighty, it's cold out there. Whew. Second of all, I was wrong. I was expecting a package today. I was expecting a package today. It is a storage. It was a storage. It's a bit of a storage solution. I needed extra storage space for stuff in the bathroom, so I grabbed something off of Amazon, and I forgot it was coming today. So I was wrong on that count. So it turns out somebody was knocking on my door. Poor pizza guy got lost. He's like, "Did you order pizza?" I'm like, No, I definitely did not order pizza. Sorry, dude. I kind of feel bad for him, I'm not gonna lie, because he's waiting out there for whoever assumedly ordered pizza for dinner tonight, and it's like 12 degrees out there? I mean, he's in his car, but like still, that kind of sucks. I really don't have a set stopping time for stream tonight. It's more of like however sorry, my mind blanked there for a second. I don't have like a set stopping time for stream tonight. It's more of a you know, if I feel done, then we'll stop. If I can get the entire model done tonight, that'd be great. If not, that's also fine. Basically, I'm really in no pressure tonight, which is fine by me. Because at the very least, I wanted to get some stuff blocked in. I just wanted to get some stuff blocked in on this vehicle. As a matter of fact, you know what? I think we can actually call my vehicle done for now. However, there is definitely another miniature I wanted to paint tonight. Because I've got the 3 main colors blocked out on my Stormspeeder Hammerstrike at the moment. But just give me a second, chat. Just give me a second. I love this remix of Blue Clapper. It's so good. Oh my god, I love this remix of Blue Clapper. It's so good. Alright, so I'm calling the preliminary steps of my Stormspear Hammerstrike done. So we can move on to something else tonight. We're actually going to move on to a miniature that's quite a bit smaller than my Stormspeeder. Because, whoops, I closed a window on my secondary monitor that I didn't mean to close. Because we are going to do some character painting tonight, chat. We're going to do some character painting in the hour and change I have left in stream. That I usually have left in stream, rather. But that's neither here nor there. I digress. So, we're going to do some character painting, and it's a character I have been sitting on for a little while. It's my Space Marine Captain. Just a no-named, generic Space Marine Captain. He's already primed, and I've already got the first base coat on him. Which means we're doing a lot of detail work tonight. So this will be a nice way to cap off the night. Starting with a color that we've already got on the palette. I'm going to take some Abaddon Black, and we're going to start on the shoulder pauldrons here. Now this shoulder pauldron in particular has this raised detail in the center. I'm just going to paint that over black for now, because I have an idea what I want to do with it later on. Or I'm not going to entirely paint it over black, rather. What I'm going to do is just leave it kind of like that. Just kind of leave it barely exposed. Because I've got plans for that later. Okay. Continuing on with Abaddon Black. We're going to move on to the power pack back here. The power pack that makes all Space Marine armors, particularly the Primaris armor, function properly. Now when you're painting characters, be they named characters or just special characters, you want to make them stand out from the basic infantry. Games Workshop kits do a nice job of that by including, you know, big noticeable details like this cape, the sword, the crest on his helmet, the iron halo, sculpted detailing on the armor itself. But if you want to take a more blank slate approach to that, you can just, that's where painting comes in. You can make them stand out from your generic troops, from your foot soldiers, just by giving them a very distinct paint job. Space Marines are pretty cookie cutter in their armor, but a distinct paint job and some decals go a long way in separating your captains from your mainline Primaris troops. Oh, goodness. Well, that's unfortunate. Huh. I just realized a couple of things on his iron halo just popped off, unfortunately. But that's fine, I can fix that. Unfortunately, that sometimes just happens when you don't have a permanent storage solution for some of your miniatures. I, unfortunately, do not have a permanent storage solution for most of them. I need some, like, big old storage cases from IKEA. Which means I need to get my ass to IKEA at some point. But a good way to do that, a good way to get around that is just... So I'm just gonna not get the, not get that iron halo painted. But what I can do before I paint it is just trim off some of the stuff from it. Which is easy enough to do. So for this shoulder pauldron, you're going to notice that this giant winged eagle takes up the majority of the shoulder pauldron, but there are some gaps where you will be able to see the blank shoulder pauldron underneath. I'm just filling in those gaps with the black right now. I believe that should be enough for the black at the moment. So, clean off the brush, grab our next color. Yeah. I was thinking to make his his cape an entirely different color. But I think what I'm going to do for this guy's cape in particular, I'll go for what I usually paint Space Marine capes for salamanders. We're going to paint red. So I've got here a base color, Mephiston red. Or do I want to use... I think I'm going to use a different red, actually. Give me a second. Hold on. Okay. Never mind. I thought I had a different red on hand, but apparently I didn't. It's fine. So we'll stick with the Mephiston red for now. We'll just do the Duncan method. That being 2 thin coats, obviously. Just want to get the red onto our palette. There we go. We need about that consistency. Now, a quick way to make this look as clean as possible is just to draw your brush down in the same direction. Keep the brush strokes going in the same direction. So when the first coat dries, it's not going to leave any sort of weird markings or weird looking markings. Also, this remix of Halloween Night is also very good. Hello. Whew. Now, I know people who would make the inside of the cape an entirely different color. I'm just gonna make for my own ease, for my own peace of mind, rather. I'm just gonna make the entire cape inside and out red. Because that's way easier for me to deal with later on. That is way, way, way easier for me to deal with later on. Now, if you're worried about the paint looking thin in some spots, don't worry, because that's why we're doing 2 thin coats to make the color stand out and be more vibrant on the model. We'll just wait for the first coat of paint to dry, and then go over it again. That way you get a nice, bright, and bold finish. Almost there. But we are going to need this red for something else. I'm going to base the sword blade red as well, so we can start with the flame effect that I like to put on all of my Salamander's power swords. Also, another detail we have to paint red, besides the sword blade, is the tabard right here. The one that's directly in front of the miniature right here. Because I'm going to be painting that red as well, just so we have some continuity between the cape and the tabard. Now, there are details that are on, like, technically in front of the tabard. Like, there's like this little incense bearer, or this incense holder that's also hanging in front of the tabard. There's also the strap from the bolt rifle as well. I'm not worried about getting them, you know, painting them red by accident right now, because, again, we can just go over them later on when we actually get around to painting those details. But for now, we're okay. Rakim Fox, thank you so much for the follow. Thank you, thank you. I got confused at what monitor I put OBS, so I did not see that in time. But thank you so much. Welcome to the lair. I'm NJChef. I am a Cosmic Dragon VTuber, and you've joined us right in the middle of a very chill stream today. We are just hanging out, chatting, vibing to some cool music, as I paint some Warhammer 40K miniatures. So welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for the follow. I do appreciate it. So that's gonna form the base. That's gonna form the base for the flame effect on the power sword. I would normally paint the helmet crest red as well, but I'm gonna do something different. The helmet crest and all these little tassels that you see scattered all throughout the model, I'm gonna make them orange. We'll get to them later. But now, after I clean up my brush, we should be ready for our second coat of red on the cape and the tabard. So we're gonna move on to that now. As soon as I clean up my brush a little bit. This was also definitely like a, I don't want to say proof of concept stream for me, but just to prove to myself that I can get back in this swing of doing miniature painting on stream again. The next time we do this stream, I think what we're going to do is probably get started on my orcs, because I have not started painting my orcs at all. And most of them do still need to be assembled as well. So we might just do an assembly stream next time. Just me popping together some orcs out of the army box that I got a little while ago. So look forward to that. Look forward to that. We're not ending stream, by the way. I'm taking a break to rest my hands because holding on to a miniature and painting supplies for this long does start to cramp your fingers a little bit. I have been painting for like 2 hours straight. Thank you for that posture check, Yashi. I do appreciate that. I will fully admit, I have a really, really bad habit of like hunching over and leaning forward when I paint. And I'll do that for hours and I'll realize, why is my back hurt? Oh, right. See, you can immediately see the difference now, by the way. You can immediately see the difference now. Once we get that second coat of red on. how much more vibrant the color becomes. This is a remix of Boltons. Yeah, Lioness Pride. I thought I recognized this song. I do like Bolton's singing voice. I honestly do like Bolton's singing voice. Shrimp behavior. So, since tomorrow is Sunday, I can tell you guys right now that I will be putting out the stream schedule for the week tomorrow, so keep an eye out for that. It's going to go on Twitter. It's also going to go on the Discord as well. But in terms of New York Snark Exchange streams that I will be a part of this week, I will be a part of stream tomorrow, because tomorrow we are going to be recording a new episode of our podcast, the Closing Bell podcast. We're going to be getting together, all 5 of us, and just shoot the shit as usual. So look forward to that. Brand new episode of the Closing Bell tomorrow, twitch.tv/NY Snark Exchange. And I really don't quite know what I want to do this week. However, given that the YouTube page has been experiencing some fantastic growth lately, it would be a terrible idea for me to not do a YouTube stream this week, or this coming week. So look forward to that. We're definitely going to be streaming on YouTube this week. As to what we'll be doing, I'm not entirely sure. I know I still technically need to finish Hyper Light Drifter, but I might want to do, I don't know, I might be in the mood to do something else. I'm not entirely sure, I'll be honest. I'm not entirely certain what I want to do. I just know that there will be a YouTube stream this week. God, that's so good. Two thin coats, y'all. What can I say? Look at that. Look how vibrant that is. Look at that. Well done. It's really good. It's really good. The Holocure patch does drop on Friday. You're right, Iyashi. You're right. Iyashi, I think you just solved what I want to do on YouTube this week. Iyashi, I think you just solved what we're doing on YouTube this week. Wait a minute. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it. Problem solved. Okay. I'm also going to put one more very, very thin coat onto the sword blade, just to get that base color established. Beautiful. Okay. So now Now I'm gonna move on to the next biggest color gradient on this miniature in particular, and that's bronze. Is it? Oh, I'd recognize violet anywhere. I'd recognize the cadence to violet anywhere. Of course, Ina. So, I said we're gonna need bronze, right, chat? I said we're gonna need bronze for our next major color block. But here's the thing. Games Workshop's really weird and strange naming conventions are gonna start taking hold here, because the color I'm actually shaking up right now is Balthazar Gold. Okay? Hear me out, though. This, when it dries, it is actually bronze and not gold. I don't understand why they would name it Balthazar Gold when the color itself is bronze when it dries. I do not understand. Games Workshop, please. Okay. Sometimes with metallics, you really, really need to shake them up to keep them mixed, which is also why I put a steel ball bearing inside the paint pot for that specific reason. Oxidation? You're honestly probably more than likely. Alright, cool. Alright, now my mute chat was just opening up another window on my other monitor. Cause I'll be getting ready to wrap up soon, and I just wanted to see who was on when we do end stream. Cool. Alright. In the meantime, start picking up some bronze details, which is going to be details like this skull down here on his right armor greave. I got some bronze on the green of his armor, but that's fine. I can neaten that up later. And then we can start doing the trim of this shoulder pauldron, as well as the winged eagle in the center of it. I know it's a few... Oh, dang it. Hang on. can fix that actually before it starts drying. There we go. Quick fix. If you get paint somewhere that you don't want it, before it starts drying, really wet your brush down and then just use it to soak up the paint and pull it off. Because you see, I accidentally got some gold here, but then I just pulled it off with a wet brush and it's back to normal. You just gotta remember to be quick with it. Because that trick only works while the paint is still wet. Now, metallics, like gold, like bronze in particular, will benefit from a second coat. Because you want them to stand out. You want them to be bright, shiny, vibrant. So I'll be going over all of these bronze details again once the first coat dries up. In the meantime, I will continue around the miniature and continue to block out the rest of the bronze detailing in the meantime. Speaking of bronze detailing, what I like to do, and to show rank within the salamanders, well, at least with the way I paint my salamanders, right? For the rank and file Space Marines, I will leave their helmets green. For sergeants, I will make their helmets black. For lieutenants, I make their helmets black with one gold or bronze stripe down the center. For captains, what I do is I make their entire helmet bronze. Now this helmet in particular does have a little bit of like extra like tactical gear on it. It's got like an enhanced scope over one eye. So I'll be going back, yeah, it's this guy right here. I'll be going back with gunmetal over that scope later on, but for the rest of the helmet, it's getting painted bronze. Because that's just how I denote captaincy, or the captain's rank. At least with the way I paint salamanders. It can differ from person to person, from player to player, but that's how I do it. It just helps to make him. It just helps to make him stand out more on the tabletop. Like honestly, that's a nice look. That's a really neat look. I dig that. I dig that a lot. There's quite a few bronze details on this miniature, so we're just gonna keep on going. It stands out greatly as a Tau I approve. Oi. Foul Xenos be gone. How dare you? How dare you, sir? Yeah, I apologize if I don't realize that I'm painting something off frame, by the way. I'm still getting used to this new setup. Trying to balance out holding the miniature in a space that's comfortable for me, but is also in frame with the camera is something, especially with this new setup, I'm still trying to work out, so I apologize if y'all miss anything important. Alright, no worries, Warlock. Enjoy dinner. I'm probably gonna go get some dinner myself as soon as we're done here, I'm not gonna lie. I am definitely gonna go get myself some dinner as soon as we're done here, for sure, for sure. But I do appreciate you hanging out as usual, buddy. I do appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. One of these days, I hope to make enough money off of streaming to actually pay my fucking mods. Am I there yet? No, I'm not, unfortunately, but I hope to get there one of these days. One day. One day. Yo, Kingfisher, what's going on, buddy? Want to see what crazy bullshit got announced for Marvel United? Lay it on me, bud. What do you got? Lay it on me. There we go. All right. Solid. All right, what do we got here, Kingfisher? Let's see. And if you back the Kickstarter and get this box, you unlock a Mix and Match Sinister 6 bonus package. Wow. Oh my god, Maximum Carnage, hello? Dark Carnage, Scorpion, Demogoblin, Scream, oh my god. Morbius, oh, it's Morbin time. Shriek, Doppelganger, holy cow. That is a wild mix of stuff. Although I'm not gonna lie, I think the only thing that interests me in that entire crew is Scream. I think that might be the only thing in that entire bit right there that interests me is Scream, because I love Scream. I love all of the other symbiotes not named Venom and Carnage. Right, what are we doing next? Oh, right, I still need to do a couple of other bronze details on here. Namely, the trim and the other shoulder pauldron. Okay, like I said, I'm going to leave that center part blank for now. Okay, so now... Bolt rifle. Which means it's back to gunmetal, once again. Probably the color we've used the most tonight, being gunmetal. Oh, I didn't even drill out the gun barrel on this boy yet. Interesting. Okay. So that'll be one more thing for me to do off stream. Naruhodo. Oh, I will check that out momentarily, Kingfisher. Sorry about that. I kinda locked in on painting mode for a moment. But I'll check that out momentarily, don't you worry. But yeah, I think the next painting stream we do, or even assembly stream we do, I think I'll be focusing more on my orcs than my space marines. Because my space marines, I have more than enough already. I just wanted to make sure that, A, my new setup worked, and it does, which is brilliant, and B, that I remembered most of my skills when it came to miniature painting, which, thankfully, I have. It really is just muscle memory at this point, which is fantastic. I'm just going to paint this grenade over here. As well. It's the handle of his sidearm back here. The back vents on the backpack. Gotta paint those as well. Is this the Safe Fanfare remix? This is the Safe Fanfare remix. Oh my goodness. I love it. I love it. All right, Kingfisher, what do you got for me here, bud? Let me check this out right now. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Very nice. Wow. I dig it. I dig it. That's really nice, dude. I love this remix of Safe Fanfare. Oh my god, it's so nice. Safe Fanfare by itself is already a bop. This remix somehow keeps it being a bop, but is also very chill and very relaxing. Gonna do now since it's such a large area, the cape, I mean, we're gonna take the time, we're gonna take some time now to apply and layer on our first wash on the miniature, and I'm using Army Painter's red tone wash to do so. What this is gonna do is just darken down the red ever so slightly, but also it's gonna settle into the recesses of the cape and give us some nice definition and shadowing and detailing. To that end, I've gotten an older brush here, like this one has seen plenty better days. Look how frazzled this poor tip is. But this is perfect because brushes like these are good for two things: applying wash and dry brushing, which is literally the only reason why I keep this thing around still. You can see almost immediately it's starting to darken down the red, and it's also settling into the little curves and swishes of the cape, giving us that shadowed detail, which is exactly what we need on a dynamic model like this. Just gotta remember to get everything, the tab art out in front included. Yeah, that's the kind of depth we're looking for. Look at that. That's going to settle really nice, and once it dries completely, we're going to have some really nice shadowing on the cape and the cloth textures. Now I'm going to need another wash, which unfortunately I do not have at the moment, but I will be right back because I'm going to go get it. It's literally right behind me on a chair. Now, I use this wash pretty exclusively on metallics, specifically golds and bronzes, because I want to make them stand out and give them a little bit more extra shine. To that end, we have Citadel's Reichland Flesh Shade Gloss. And just like it says on the tin, when this wash in particular will dry, it will dry with a glossy sheen or a glossy finish, which is perfect for golds and bronzes. You can already see, like, even while the wash is still wet, it's got a really nice finish to it. It makes this gold, or rather bronze, pop really, really nicely. Aha, okay. That's what this song was. I had to double check. It's Smile and Go. You know, chat, I'm already thinking about what I want to have for dinner. And I just remembered I've got a nice batch of leftover homemade kimchi and pork fried rice that I made a couple of days ago. I think I know exactly what I'm making. I'm gonna do for dinner. Ugh, that's just making me hungrier thinking about it. Because I made a lot of kimchi and pork fried rice. a couple of days ago. And just thinking about it is making me super, super hungry. So I know exactly what the hell I'm doing for dinner. I know exactly what I'm doing for dinner now. Let's go. There we go. Okay. So all that needs to do is dry. So I've got the majority of the colors blocked out on that now. Let me cap this before I accidentally knock it over. All right. Chat. I think, speaking of dinner, and speaking of being hungry, I think 2 models, one being a vehicle and one being a character, I think that is a really solid spot to end stream tonight, because I'm very hungry at this point. All right, schedule. Let's talk real quick before we head out. Schedule for the week will be out tomorrow. Tomorrow night, also, I will be over on the New York Snark Exchange's Twitch channel. We're going to be recording a new episode of the Closing Bell podcast, so tune into that. Friday, we'll be doing a stream over on YouTube for the launch of the new HoloCure patch. So join me over there for that as well. And then the rest of the streaming schedule for the week will be also dropping tomorrow on Twitter and on Discord. So hit up the link tree if you want to follow both. If you like what I do, toss me a follow. If you really like what I do, toss me a sub. You can also support me directly on Ko-fi as well. Whew, big old mouthful. Let's see, who do I want to send y'all over to in terms of a raid? Let me also move my minis out of the way so I don't accidentally clip them while I'm typing in our raid target. Who do I want to raid? Who do I want to send y'all to for the rest of the evening? Thank you, by the way, chat, for actually spending time with me tonight. I do appreciate it, as always. You're all wonderful. I do really enjoy hanging out with all of you. I do appreciate it quite a bit. Oh, you know what? She's still going, right? She has to be. She just started. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. I know who I'm sending you all over to, chat. I'm actually kind of nervous raiding her because I've never raided her before. But today is probably the best... Today is probably the best day to send her a raid. I'm sending you all over to Vexoria. And the reason why I'm sending you all over to Vexoria is because she's doing a charity stream right now for breast cancer research. So definitely, A, give Vex a follow, and B, donate if you can, because it's a good cause, especially given what Vex is going through herself right now. So send some love over to Vex. Go show Snake Mommy some love. And I'll catch y'all tomorrow for the next episode of the Closing Bell podcast with the Snark crew. Have a good night, everybody. I'll catch you on the next stream. Bye-bye.